Hey everybody, I'm Zach.
And I'm Jesse.
And you're watching Tesla Time News.
Episode 111.
On Now You Know.
Before we get started, I just want to remind everyone that we're an independent news source. We are not owned by anyone. You're looking at the two co-owners of Tesla Time News and Now You Know.
We are sponsored this week, though, by the Fairfield Inn and Suites in Schaumburg, Illinois.
Okay. Now, where is Schaumburg, Illinois?
Yeah, it's right outside of Chicago. I actually went there and stayed there to make sure that it was legit. It is a solar-powered hotel, and it has 2 Tesla chargers, destination chargers, and 2 regular EV chargers. So if you're driving around the area, great place to stay for the night because you can charge up your electric car. And it's solar-powered electricity.
And where is this near? I mean, how close to Chicago?
It's right near Chicago's O'Hare Airport. So, perfect location because it's far enough out of the city that you're not stuck in traffic all the time. And it's got the United States' second largest mall.
So this is some news. If you are thinking about buying a Tesla, it doesn't matter what kind of Tesla it is.
Okay.
You can use a referral code.
Okay, what do you get?
You are going to get 6 months of free supercharging.
Wait, I thought you were going to get a $100 supercharger credit.
So people who have used a referral code on a purchase since September 19th will receive 6 months of supercharging in addition to the $100 of credit that they already received.
Okay.
Which does not have an expiration date.
Okay, but going forward, you'll get 6 months of supercharging.
Yes.
And that's not on any car. So that's even on the cheapest Model 3.
Yes.
And so if you use our referral code, you'll get that. Plus you'll get Zach and Jesse come meet you in the next generation Roadster.
And you get to go for a ride.
We're the only ones dumb enough to do that.
It's true. And at this point, we're about to talk about some news. This is the cheapest way to get that perk.
That's true.
Because for the longest time, it was the Model 3 Performance or just the S or the X.
Right.
And now it's opened up to all Model 3s.
But what I want to ask about is why'd they get rid of the $100 worth of free supercharging?
I think it's because you could hold on to that $100 and then, just be commuting. And then one day you go on a vacation, probably when everyone else is going on vacation, like on Thanksgiving or Christmas.
Oh, okay. So they're worried about like a whole glob of Model 3s on Thanksgiving, like all tying up the superchargers or something?
I think that's my thought. I think they know that, 6 months from now, there's going to be a ton more Model 3s, and they're probably going to have 3 months free supercharging or nothing. And so, there's going to have to be some changes there. And this is just a nice little deadline where, 6 months from when you bought the car, your free supercharging is up.
My theory is that it forces the new owners to go check out the Tesla superchargers because I know a lot of owners who get their cars and never supercharge, and they don't see how good it is.
If you have a Tesla and you haven't supercharged yet, just go do it. Yeah. Just by the way, just it's little fun. PSA.
All right, what is this about a time capsule?
So there's a new secret level to the Tesla referral program. You've unlocked the 5th secret level. Refer 5 more friends to launch a personal time capsule into deep space orbit for millions of years. Unlock new levels while you wait for an alien race to discover your payload.
Wait, did you just say deep space?
Yeah, I don't know exactly where deep space begins. I don't know where that border is.
Did you just say aliens?
Well, possibly. Basically, we're going to have a time capsule that we're going to...
We've already unlocked it.
We've unlocked this. We're going to get a time capsule. I have no idea how big it's going to be, if it's going to be, thimble size, or if it's going to be, a box of
Okay, well, let's talk about this for a second.
Yeah.
So, First, when I heard about this the other night, I thought the time capsule would be like the size of a pill because I was like, okay, they have to launch it on a rocket and it's expensive. But then I began thinking, when they launched the Starman, they just needed to test the rocket, so they needed actual weight on the rocket.
Right. My guess is that this is going to either be on another test of the
Falcon Heavy.
The Falcon Heavy, or it's going to be on a test of the BFR.
Either way, I'm thinking it's going to be a bigger time capsule that we can actually put something in, like this size, like football size.
Right. So, I mean, we're thinking about stuff to put in it. I'm thinking, obviously, we're going to put in all of our Patreon patrons' names.
Obviously.
I think that everyone who's used our referral codes' names, all those people definitely get their names in.
Now, question. Should they put their addresses so aliens can come find them and look them up?
I don't know if that's a great idea.
Just keep their name?
It's, like they say not to put personal information on the internet. Obviously, no one.
This is going
pays
one
attention
step
to
further.
that.
Like,
this is like as far as you
so
can
like
go.
Gleegorp is going to know like who you are.
Right. So anyway, we're thinking about stuff to put in it. Obviously, the names probably won't take up that much room. We could put them on a scroll or a bunch of little pieces of paper that'll settle to the bottom. Then we'll have some other stuff that aliens can be. I've never sent anything to space before. Wow. I don't think anyone else has. And, we definitely are.
It could last for millions of years.
Right. And by the way, patrons, once this has come out, you should be able to go onto patreon.com and submit what you think we should put in the time capsule.
Yeah. So we've been reporting on these federal tax credit bills. There's 2 in Congress right now. It turns out there's a third one, and this one I'm kind of excited about, even though it was put forward to cut off the subsidies.
Right. So this is much more of a compromise between the 2 bills, which are on very opposite ends of the spectrum.
Yeah.
One is to completely eliminate it like immediately and to start to put a fee on alternative fuel vehicles because evil. And then on the other side is
to extend it
to basically extend it forever.
Right. This bill is sponsored by Senator Dean Heller, a Republican from Nevada. Nevada is the key here, I think. His is a compromise. It would end the 200,000 manufacturer cap, but it would also end the entire subsidy program by 2022.
Right.
So think about this for a minute, folks. That would mean 4 years where Tesla and GM and whatever could sell EVs, and you would get the full $7,500 federal tax credit. I think that's awesome.
And then it cuts off at 2022. I think that this gives an incentive for people to jump on the bandwagon as soon as possible, whereas this other, as it stands currently, with this 200,000 cap, it disincentivizes you to jump on the bandwagon because all of a sudden, in about a year, Teslas are going to be $7,500 more expensive than
their competitors.
A completely, exactly the 100% copy of their cars, which isn't really fair because they've been spearheading this push.
Right. And it also is going to help America. I mean, if you want to look at it from America point of view, Tesla's an American company, GM's an American company, which is about to hit their 200K limit.
Right.
And so you'd be giving them a disincentive as well. Whereas with this bill, you'd be leveling the playing field.
Right.
I guess we're getting our first look here at seeing how much the Porsche Taycan is going to cost. For the longest time, we've really gotten no answers. Now we're getting this. $75,000 is the expected starting price for the Porsche Taycan.
Now, I know that a lot of you haven't bought Porsches, including me. However, I've talked to people who have bought Porsches.
And what have you learned?
And there's a base price for most Porsches, but there's no way that you're leaving the dealership giving them that much money.
Why not?
Basically, you kind of have to get a whole bunch of options when you're buying a Porsche. There's the base model, but then you have to get option after option after option of leather seats and because if you don't get the leather seats, then they won't put seats in the car. And if you don't get the upgraded engine, then we're not going to put an engine in the car. It's not exactly that way, but it's basically you're not leaving without giving them more money.
What we've seen is that we're looking up to $230,000 to get the Porsche Taycan when it's loaded up the way most people buying it are going to get it. Because let's be honest, why are you buying it?
Right.
That's why.
Right.
So the other funny thing in this story is that Porsche dealers have been asked by Porsche to install fast CC chargers at their locations at a cost of $300,000 to $400,000 each.
Right.
And the way that Porsche is trying to get them to do it is they're saying, don't worry, it's an investment. It'll pay it for itself in a few years.
So let's talk about this. So the Tesla Supercharger network, Tesla themselves, Tesla the company, installed those chargers.
Right.
Tesla doesn't have any dealers, and for those of you who don't understand, there's a disconnect between, say, a Porsche dealer and Porsche proper.
Right, they're 2 separate entities.
And so they're pushing this cost onto the Porsche dealers.
Right, and saying, but don't worry, you'll get your money back. Now, how would you get your money back from a charger?
Right. The way that Tesla structures their supercharger network, when you go to charge, you're paying basically what Tesla's paying for the electricity to put it into the supercharger.
Right. They're not making any money off the superchargers.
Right. Which is great for the driver because you're basically paying what you would have paid at home.
Right.
In that state. However, if Porsche is saying to the dealers, don't worry, you'll get your money back, that means that they're going to be charging more than the electricity rate, which means that
it's going to be a profit center for them.
Right, which means that your usual like energy savings by switching to an EV is going to kind of go out the window.
Yeah, and basically Porsche wants it to be that you drive to this charging center at a Porsche dealer, sit there for an hour, and while you're sitting there, you're like, hey, I'll just go into the Porsche dealership and talk about the new Porsche. So they're looking at it as a way to sell more Porsches,
right?
As opposed to Tesla, which is looking at a way to change our sustainable energy world.
So Elon tweeted the other day, and here it is.
Why aren't we doing this on Elon's Tweet of the Week?
It's a bit important. I think you'll...
He's just tweeting about a lemur. It's just typical Elon silliness like that.
Yes. I ordered one of these.
You ordered a lemur? So, like, what is this, a boring company lemur or something? Is this like a stuffed animal?
It's a Tesla.
So a Tesla
lemur.
Stuffed lemur?
Basically.
I hope it's not a live lemur. Do you have a place for that in your apartment?
They just released a lower cost, mid-range Tesla Model 3.
Wait, what? That's the lemur?
So it's a 3 mid-range. So MR, 3 MR, 3mer. Lemur.
Oh, that's how his brain works.
That's kind of the joke. Let's take a look at this thing. So basically, it's a...
Wait, can I just slow down? You ordered one?
Yes.
Wait, congratulations.
Thank you.
Wow.
So finally...
This is your first new car?
My first new car.
Damn, you beat me.
I beat you by...
I got my first new car 3 years ago.
Right. I think I beat you by about 20 years.
Yeah, wow. That's an exponential curve right there.
That's pretty exponential. So let's talk about this new... mid-range Model 3. I was not expecting this, by the way.
First of all, what's the range?
The range is 260 miles.
That's awesome.
Which is, let me just say, perfect.
That is perfect.
Sparky has a range of 257 miles, which is almost identical to 260. And
it works out perfectly.
We've driven across the country on that range.
Yeah.
So, and that was in 2016 when there weren't as many superchargers. Right. So this range is
okay. How much did you save?
I saved a whole bunch, and mostly because the delivery window is between 6 to 10 weeks.
Oh, so you might get it before the end of the year and get the federal tax credit, full federail tax credit.
I ordered within about 15 minutes of this tweet coming out, so
you must be number one on the list.
I'm on the 6-week margins, which is good. Get it before Christmas,
fantastic.
Which means that I could get the full tax credit.
Well, so I did a little research into it because I knew you got it. Mm-hmm. And I found out that the battery pack is actually smaller. There's less cells in it. Mm-hmm. So it's 17% fewer batteries, which means it's lighter. Mm-hmm. And that means that Tesla can put out 17% more Model 3s because they were production limited by cell production.
Right, which is really interesting. Now, this is a rear wheel Model 3 that includes the premium package upgrades for $45,000 before incentives.
So that's a $4,000 savings from the rear wheel long range battery.
Right.
Plus you're going to get the full federal tax credit. So you kind of saved another $3,750.
And because I live in Massachusetts, I get a $2,500 mass rebate. So I am going to be paying, in the end, $35,000 for a Tesla.
Wow.
Which is the cheapest Tesla you can buy.
That's great.
Just the cheapest Tesla in the world. 260-mile range. I'm super happy about that. I was not expecting there to be a mid-range battery. I was expecting there to be a long-range battery.
It was brilliant.
And the low-range battery.
It opens up a whole, like every $1,000 you make the car cheaper, you open up the car to more and more people.
Right.
And he just opened it up to another huge group of people.
Right. And because they're going to be able to put out 17% more cars, because again, they've been battery module limited, that means that they're going to be able to
max out the credit.
17%. Yeah. Exactly. They're maxing out the credit.
They're caring about their customers.
Right. Also, with this change with the new mid-range battery, Tesla has removed the mention of the full self-driving capability.
Yeah, that was confusing to me. I mean, it was confusing before when they offered it because I didn't understand it fully, and it confused a lot of people. They would contact us and be like, "Do I want to get full self-driving?" But they don't have a full self-driving car yet.
Do I need full self-driving to get autopilot? There was autopilot. There was this. So now
it's not an option anymore.
Right. Right now, you can just get enhanced autopilot, which means that there is no full self-driving that you can order now. So there's a lot of confusion as to why they got rid of it.
Yeah, I mean, because why did Tesla offer full self-driving for 2 years and then pull it just as we're getting close to this new neural net computer, which Elon says will come out in about 6 months, which is 5 to 20 times faster than the existing computer.
Elon has said that it was just because it was confusing for people, and that's definitely true. People were definitely confused by full self-driving, autopilot, didn't quite understand the difference. I think what it might be is that they've realized that it's going to take some more time for full self-driving to be 100% like, approved by the government
Right.
and stuff like that.
And they don't want a lot of angry customers saying like, I paid for this thing and I don't have it yet.
Right. So I think what they're going to do is for the time being, just forgo it. And then in the future, they can reinstate it. I think that those people who have ordered it, and it was a very small percentage of owners, who have the full self-driving package, but obviously don't have any full self-driving software, I think that they are definitely going to be taken care of by Tesla when Tesla needs to, outfit their Tesla with either new hardware, either whether that be cameras or computers. I think that they will be taken care of. I think that for the rest of us, there will be maybe this optional upgrade to full self-driving, and maybe it'll cost, a little bit more than the full self-driving package that they offered. We'll have to see. And we don't know, and it's going to take a while. So not really worth worrying about it at the moment.
Right. Cars are amazing as is.
Right.
But exciting to find out what's going to happen.
Yeah.
So Elon tweeted last week, just reviewed Tesla's service locations in North America and realized we have major gaps in geographic coverage. Sorry for this foolish oversight. Tesla will aim to cover all regions of North America, not just big cities, within 3 to 6 months. So I want to point out that Tesla currently has 78 service centers in the US, and there's certain places like New York State, which it's not really Tesla's fault. New York State has said, Tesla, you can only have 5 service locations. And so they kind of had to stick them all down near New York City because that's where most of the people live.
Right. And that's really weird.
It is weird. And it's also, that means that New York State, if you live in upstate New York, you either have to drive all the way down to New York, or you have to drive to like some crazy place like Montreal to get your car fixed. So it's, again, that's not Tesla's fault. And for them to be able to fix that particular geographical problem, you're going to have to change it in your state. So if you live in a state like that, contact your legislator and let them know that you're not happy with this stupid law. But the big question comes, can Tesla solve some of these geographical problems with like mobile command centers? Could they not call them service centers and just have like a place where parts get delivered to and then trucks drive out?
Yeah, I mean, we know that there are mobile service cars, Teslas, that will drive out, fix your Tesla in your parking lot, and that's great. And I think that they can do a lot of repairs there.
Yeah, I mean, because
they can do everything.
Teslas are very much like Legos. I mean, a lot of things unconnect and connect, and then it's fixed. So it's like you can have a truck pull out and pull something apart and put it back together.
So, I mean, I think that a lot of that fixing will happen there. As in terms of like whether it was a foolish oversight or whether it was a calculated move, I mean, I think that it probably was just not a great idea to be like, oh, don't worry, we'll cover this area of North Dakota, even though, only probably 40, 50 guys have Teslas there. But I think that you can't come out and say like, oh, well, we just couldn't afford to, or, that was, we didn't care.
I do wonder when Tesla will open up their service centers to third-party independents, because, I mean, every car nowadays, you can bring it to your local mechanic and they'll be able to probably fix it, even if it's not a dealership. I do think that it would be smart of Tesla to consider third-party independence, because there are a lot of things that could be fixed pretty easily by independents.
Right. I think that they've been burned in the past by people repairing their cars improperly, which leads to worse problems.
Right. So there'd have to be training and stuff like that. But I think it's something you should consider, because that would make it so that there'd be a lot more service centers around the world.
Right.
If it's not Scottish, it's crap.
Why?
Well, check this out. ScottishPower has just announced that they have completed the sale of their coal and gas plants, and they are now 100% wind energy. So according to Keith Anderson, the chief executive of ScottishPower, he said, this is a pivotal shift for ScottishPower as we realize a long-term ambition. We are leaving carbon generation behind for a renewable future powered by cheaper green energy. We have closed coal, sold gas, and built enough wind to power 1.2 million homes. Every working day, we are investing over £4 million to deliver cleaner, smarter power for customers. From today, we can focus solely on making energy generation cheaper, cutting carbon quicker, building smart grids, and connecting customers to a renewable electric future for transportation and heating.
Wow. This is so different from so many of the utilities that you hear about. Yeah. So many of them are like, we can't switch.
Can't possibly.
It's impossible. We're going to break everything if we
There's
switch.
going to be blackouts if we do that.
Right.
But check this out. They have 2.7 gigawatts of wind energy already online or under construction, and another 3 gigawatts in the pipeline.
In the pipeline?
Yeah.
the wind pipeline?
The wind line. Energy companies must be part of the solution to climate change, added Ignacio Galan, who's the chairman and chief executive of Iberdrola, which is Scottish Power's parent company. Iberdrola is acting now to cut carbon emissions 30% by 2020 and be carbon neutral by 2050. And by the way, I am an Iberdrola shareholder.
Because of this?
I did, yeah. When I learned about it, I was like, that's a company I can get behind.
Nice.
So State Energy Minister Ben Wyatt said last week that residents of Meadow Springs, which is a suburb of Mandurah in Western Australia, who chose to take part will be able to store electricity from their rooftop in a new 105 kilowatt or 420 kilowatt hour Tesla Powerpack. It's $1 a day, and each household that takes part will be able to store and use 8 kilowatt hours of battery storage during peak times. They would also be given easy access to their own generation and usage data via the Synergy website, while maintaining reliability of supply from their Western Power grid connection. So basically, you build a power pack somewhere nearby. Everyone can use it for a small fee and be able to store their PV power, their electric, their solar power from their roof, and solves the grid problem. It solves the sun storage problem, the duck curve that we've talked about.
It's a microgrid.
It's a microgrid. We've been talking about this for years. It's starting to happen.
Now, why are they doing it in Australia? Why haven't we heard about this in other places?
Australia is leading the way in solar production because electricity there is so expensive, and there's such a high incentive to putting solar on your roof.
But now, is this backed by one of the utilities?
No, this is just a deal being done on the side. I want to talk about a WA VPP.
I'm sorry, what?
A WA VPP.
A WAV?
Oh, yeah, a WAV.
What's that?
So WA stands for Western Australia. Again,
Okay.
we're back in Australia.
Okay.
And a VPP. So what's going on in Australia right now is a precursor to what will happen basically in every electric market around the world. As more solar goes online, electric companies will they'll have two choices. Either build and allow for grid storage like Powerwalls, Powerpacks, and dynamic charging of EVs, or desperately try and stop it.
Why would they try and stop it?
Because what are they in the business of doing? How do they make their money?
They sell power.
Right. And what do you do if you start making your own damn power?
They can't sell you power?
Right.
Okay, so they want to...
just busted into their model.
So they want to fight it.
Right.
So, I mean, instead of now becoming a selling you power company, they could be selling you storage, essentially.
They could. If they switched, exactly. That would be a valuable thing to offer.
They'd say, we have gigawatt hours worth of battery packs. You wouldn't have to worry about it. We've distributed them around your area. So, if one place goes out, the microgrid
But here's the
takes
sad
care of
truth.
everything. Well, yeah.
They make most of their money when the grid's not functioning properly, when there's peak and they have to turn on a peaker plant and charge exorbitant rates. That's the sad truth, is that most of these utilities, that's how they make their money. That's why they built these peaker plants, waiting for that moment. Oh, electricity's so expensive right now. Turn it on, turn it on. That's why they did it. They don't really want a stable, cheap grid. So in Western Australia, the Dunsborough Community Energy Project has started. This is a VPP, a virtual power plant.
Oh, that's what VPP stands for. Okay.
Right. So this is a privately funded partnership that allows over 1,000 solar and battery storage systems to pool their resources and connect them using aggregation and software. So here's how it works. You're a homeowner. You get a 6.6 kilowatt solar PV system on your roof. You get an inverter, and you get a 7 to 10 kilowatt hour lithium battery for free. Now, the $12.5 million it's going to cost to do all this is fronted by an investment firm.
Okay.
Kind of like Wonder Capital.
I
They
see.
know there's money to be made here. You then, as the homeowner, pay $35 a week for the next 10 years.
Okay.
Once this initial investment is paid off, the lease payments can be significantly reduced.
Interesting.
Now, as project leader Emma Morgan said, we know one person has no chance, but thousands have lots of power. Psychologically and literally, we have more power together. So if you or someone you know lives in Western Australia in the towns of Dunsborough or the neighboring town of Yillingup, we urge you to reach out to the Dunsborough Community Energy Project. The link is down below, and sign up. They're taking on new households.
Wow, that's super cool.
And this is going to pop up all over Australia, and I think it's going to pop up all over the world.
Right. I mean, this is really, again, as we've been saying, it's a precursor to what all the other grids are going to have to start doing, because these grids are fighting back.
Yeah.
They're saying, no, it's bad. We can't do it. You'll break the grid if you have so much solar. And everyone else is going, no.
And I know this is a new concept, and you're like, grid storage, this is kind of where electric cars and solar were 5 years ago. It's a new idea. Not many people have heard of it. Doesn't seem to make any sense, but it's going to catch on because it does make a lot of sense, and it's going to help all of us.
Did I hear that Alta Motors is shutting down?
Yeah, the electric motorcycle company kind of shutting down. Okay. So basically they've shuttered their plant and sent their workers home not because they couldn't sell enough bikes. In fact, they've sold over 1,000 this year. They're up 50% quarter after quarter.
Wow. Okay,
the problem. Well, they were going to partner with Harley Davidson because it's expensive to start up a company like this.
Okay,
it's a very niche market, right? It's off-road motorcycles. In fact, we have a video here where we just covered Altas, and they're fantastic bikes. So I don't think Alta's going away. I think that what's going to happen is some company is definitely going to partner or buy them because they've done all the right things. They've got over 70 dealers. They've got amazing bikes. It's just that they couldn't basically bring in enough revenue fast enough to keep it going.
I see.
Hopefully we'll hear some good news down the road as Alta gets a partnership or a buyout, and I hope that we see more of these Altas on the road.
It'd be kind of dumb
or on the off-road.
Not to buy into this.
It would, because they've already made an amazing bike. As we showed in our review, people who've been riding gas-powered off-road bikes for years love these bikes.
Wow.
So you must have heard this everywhere in the news this week. I don't even know why we're bothering to report it. Audi had to pay almost $1 billion.
No, I didn't hear that.
What? I mean, a car company having to pay $1 billion in a settlement? You didn't hear about it?
I was watching the news. No, that must not have happened because I didn't hear about it.
Oh, it did happen. Yeah, last Tuesday, Audi paid 800 million euros or $927 million to settle the German government's Dieselgate lawsuit. Audi said, Audi AG has accepted the fine for deviations from regulatory requirements in certain V6 and V8 diesel aggregates. Motors and diesel vehicles. That brings VW's cost so far for the Dieselgate scandal to guess how much?
$5 billion. $7 billion. $12 billion. $16 billion. $23 billion.
You're almost there.
25?
28 billion euro.
Wow.
Yeah, that's since 2015. Now, I just began to wonder when I heard that amount, and because they're not done paying yet. That was just the latest is just Audi. They own more than that, right? They own Porsche and they own other. What could they have spent that 28 billion euro on instead? I wonder.
Probably like a really big cake.
That's a good idea.
Or maybe
that's a big cake
for like a really big party. They could throw a really big party. They can invite everyone in Germany to the party. How many people live in Germany?
Yeah,
that's like millions of dollars
each person
per German.
Right, you could have their own personal DJ.
They could have their own personal. They could buy them all houses.
They could have bought them all cars.
That's insane. That's a huge.
I mean, think of how many factories they could have built. Think of how they could have switched to building EV factories.
Oh, yeah, that would have. And then it might have even been cheaper. If you think about it.
It would have been.
Huh.
Yeah, but we don't hear about this in the news.
No.
And despite Tuesday's agreement, other probes against individual managers and executives from the VW group remain open. So that's not done yet.
And customers are continuing their lawsuits against VW with more than 9 billion euros of claims that VW execs tried to hide the Dieselgate scandal, which affected the stock price more than 40%. And the German government opened up essentially a class action lawsuits, which are expected to start in November.
Yeah, so this is not over.
It's not over.
No.
Like the 28 billion euros is we're not even done yet. And just before we forget, guys, remember to hit the like button. I hate having to say this to you, but YouTube really likes it when you do that. And we get more people seeing this video, which is helpful, I think, to educating the world about EVs and sustainability. So hit the like button, help the world.
All right, it's time for the lightning round.
Here we go.
Where are all the bugs, Jesse?
I don't know. I see bugs all the time.
Do you?
They're in my house. I have to kill them or throw them out of the window. They're outside of my house, right? They're all over the place.
Well, Washington Post article just released this study that last year shows that 76% fewer bugs by weight in German forests than in 1989.
So they all went on diets?
I doubt that's what it was.
Serious diets.
Maybe serious diets. Okay, but how about this? In 2014, an international team of biologists estimated that in the past 35 years, the number of invertebrates, such as beetles and bees, have decreased by 45%. And then, get this, in a report published last week by the Proceedings of the National Academy of Sciences, very prestigious, shows that insect loss extends to the Americas and implicates climate change to the loss. The study in PNAS is a real wake-up call, a clarion call, that the phenomenon could be much, much bigger and across many more ecosystems, said David Wagner, who's an expert in invertebrate conservation at the University of Connecticut. He was not involved with this research, but he added, "This is one of the most disturbing articles I have ever read."
So what you're telling me is that there's fewer bugs in the world.
Mm-hmm. A lot fewer. Not like just a couple percent.
And it could be because of climate change.
And we don't know.
And we don't know. And that could be good.
That's bad. Like, I know you think insects, hitting a windshield, that's bad, but we need insects. Like, insects are part of our world.
Right.
Without them, that means whole species don't survive. And probably us. Like, how about bees? That's an insect we like, right?
Right.
And we need those bees.
Right.
All right, it's time for some Model 3 news. We need some good news.
Some good news.
All right, what do we got here?
100,000 Model 3s have been produced.
Ha! Yeah. That's a lot.
Also, Model 3 performance is now listed at a 0 to 60 time of 3.3 seconds instead of 3.5.
What, did it get faster?
This is because many owners have been getting this time in acceleration. So it doesn't matter. It's not like they came out with a new version or anything.
They were just being conservative with the number, basically.
Everyone who's bought a Model 3 performance, 0 to 60, 3.3 seconds. That's insane.
Check this out. GE is now building an electric locomotive. So the state of California has tentatively granted railroad company BNSF a $22.6 million grant, which will use to help pay for the GM lithium battery-powered electric locomotive. They're developing it in Erie, Pennsylvania. Now, the locomotive will help BNSF to reduce emissions along its Barstow, California to Stockton, California route and should be delivered in 2020. I think this is really cool to have an electric train.
Right. Put solar panels on the whole train.
Yeah, we saw it. It worked down in Australia.
Right.
Here's a boring O'Leary station.
I've never. What's the O'Leary station? Where is this?
So this is the Loop Lift, which is at West 120th Street and Prairie Avenue in Hawthorne, so right near the Boring Company headquarters. And then this is how the tunnel looks when it's painted.
Oh.
And it's lit. That tunnel is lit.
Certainly is lighted. So Josh Actley tweeted at Elon. He said, "Can you put a dog mode on the Tesla Model 3 where the music plays and the AC is on with a display on the screen saying, 'I'm fine, my owner will be right back'?"
Elon said yes.
And then Justin Horn said, "Maybe show current interior temperature on the screen as well."
Elon said, exactly.
So dog mode for the Tesla.
Here's what I love about Tesla. I've said this before. They get awesome ideas from their awesome customers, and then they implement those ideas. Many other companies are like, let's have a focus group, and we'll ask 6 questions that are rated from 0 to 10, and we'll find out what customers seem to want.
Do you want more cup holders?
Or do you want less cup holders?
Do you want
dog cup holders?
I don't even know what else they ask. Because, I mean, get most cars, and it's like they don't have dog modes.
Right.
Dog modes.
Dog mode.
Hello?
Awesome. New innovation from Tesla, as if there wasn't enough. What are they working on now?
They're working on their own tire inflation patent. So tire inflation is not new, usually involves...
Wait, so filling the tires while you're driving?
Yeah, so this is mostly for military applications, but they're thinking about it in terms of their semi.
Oh.
Maybe they're thinking it'll be a military vehicle. Be smart,
but
quiet.
If someone already has tire inflation, why do they need their own?
The problem is that the current tire inflation technology, as it were, basically constantly fails. Constantly has mechanical problems because of wearing parts, and it's constantly leaking and
so they came out with a better
come out with a better thing. Here's some of the
it.
patent pictures.
Wow.
I don't know. I'm not a seal tire inflation kind of engineer guy. That's not my kind of engineering, but for some of you, it might be interesting.
So, Ohio-based Workhorse last week at their Midwest plant began production of the 1,000 cubic foot model NGen 1000, which is an all-electric delivery van.
It has a range of up to 100 miles or 160 kilometers on a single charge. It has 6,000-pound carrying capacity and is available in 4 cargo sizes, 250, 450, 700, and 1,000 cubic feet. Stephen S. Burns, the CEO of Workhorse, said, "For as long as I can remember, we've been discussing what the future of delivery looks like and what role electric vehicles will play in that. We are proud to say the future is here. With an off-the-lot cost on par with traditional fuel delivery vehicles and substantial savings from there, we believe the NGen will forever change the business of delivery as we know it." The SEC settlement against Tesla has been finalized by the judge in the Southern District of New York on October 16th, and Tesla stock popped up 4%. And also, Elon Musk said that he is going to buy $20 million of Tesla stock And basically, I think that that's a dig at the SEC.
Oh, right, because that's what they charged him in this settlement.
And that's what they charged Tesla.
Right.
So Tesla was out $20 million because of essentially Elon's tweet. So in order to be like, screw you, SEC, for being a jerk.
He like killed two birds with one stone.
Right. That's both kind of like an apology to Tesla and all of their shareholders. And also it's a nice little dig because, again, he'll make that $20 million back as the stock doubles.
Yeah. Again, the SEC settlement says that he has to resign from chairman within 45 days. There have to be 2 additional independent directors on the board, and they have to put in place more oversight for Musk's communication that would affect investors within the next 90 days.
Right. Keep in mind, he's still the CEO and he's still on the board.
Right. As we've said last week, Tesla is buying the Shanghai Gigaland. So there's a signing ceremony for the land transfer agreement with the leaders from the Shanghai Economic and Information Committee and the Shanghai Lingang Area Development Administration. As you're seeing, there's a picture here of the actual site. Now, I want to point out, did a little digging, and it turns out the area is 40% of the size of the Nevada Gigafactory. So this isn't going to be as giga, but I looked on a map, and there's tons of farmland around it. So my guess is if they want to expand, they can probably buy that land. Basically, their plans are to have an initial ramp of 250,000 cars a year, and then when it's from full production, it'll be 500,000 cars a year. All right, it's time for our video contributor story. Now, last week we showed you Mr. G had installed his charger on the wall, but a lot of people are asking us, okay, you sent him this broken charger. How did he fix it?
Right.
Check it out.
Okay, we're inside the wall charger. All right, I'm Mr. G. This is your 1-minute video. We're here at Memorial High School, and I just want to show you what we're doing with the wall charger. Zach and Jesse were so nice to donate the wall charger to us. We're going to put it in our high school, attract some Teslas, give them a charge. But check it out, there's some damage. Okay, I don't know what these guys did. They were drag racing or something. Maybe they were in a rush, and they forgot their coffee, and they ran over the wire. So now we have Angel. And what have you done, Angel?
Basically, I soldered both the blue wire and the black wire back together. So,
okay.
I use the soldering iron right here.
Yep.
And then I use some soldering materials and these flips to help me solder this back together.
Awesome job.
With a string.
Up top. Okay, Carlos, what's going on? What did we learn today about the wall charger?
Checking the continuity between the wires, making sure everything else is connected, there's nothing else wrong with it. So
Okay.
this orange wire in here comes to this over here, this purple over here. The high voltage wires, the black one, the red all the way back here. And then the ground wire, the green wire back here, connects into here.
Perfect, so everything works. The only thing we couldn't test was the black and the blue wire, but I think it might go to a sensor inside the plug. We're not sure, but we did a good job soldering it. We've no way to verify. But anyway, that's basically it. And we're hoping to take this charger and we're gonna bring it over to this side of the auto shop. Let's just take a little quick look. This over here is our current electric vehicle, and we built this here 10 years ago, back when electric cars were not that cool. And so you can see here, there's all kinds of batteries inside here, and our current plug is just an extension cord. And we literally plug it into the wall, like this. But wouldn't it be so much cooler if we had a Tesla charger? So that's what we have now. All right, I'm Mr. G. We're at Memorial High School, and I'm so glad to be connected with Zach and Jesse. Those guys are spreading the good word about Tesla. And don't forget to support your local auto shop, teacher, and STEM field, science, technology, engineering, and math. I'm Mr. G. That was longer than a 1-minute video. See you later.
Is he awesome or what?
He's really awesome. I mean,
Failure is a chance to learn.
right. We had a failure. You ran over the thing with the snowblower.
Yep.
It's a chance to learn.
His students
for these
learned.
students.
I did it on purpose. I decided to help his students learn.
It's really inspiring for his students, and I just want to, good on you, man. That's awesome.
All right, it's time for the Patreon bonus story. So if you want to help us out, go over to Patreon for as little as $1 a month. You can check out all these cool stories which are coming out. We're going to be showing you about Smoking the Bandit, some Ford problems, Australian grid problems. So
Some interesting other things.
Yeah, some little secrets about the Model 3. So head on over there, help us out. You're going to...
And I mean, get in there soon, because we're going to be shooting this thing into space, and you want to have your name in that thing, right?
Yeah,
I'm just
that's
saying.
true.
So if the Patreon bonus stories weren't enough for you, maybe the the time capsule in space is enough of an impetus for you to finally check out the Patreon thing. Again, you can always quit. We're back from our Patreon bonus story, and it's time for our Patreon shout-outs. Who do we got this week, Jesse? We've got Mikel de Liue,
Stephen Farrell,
Jose Gallardo,
Semer Shar,
Herman Solomon,
Mr. G's Workshop,
Justin Bayman,
Mark McKinnon,
Blake Loudon,
Magnus Nordloff,
Toby Lynn Warren,
Kelvin and Dora,
Bob Sinkick,
Try to Help You,
and Kelso Denise.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you so much for supporting the show. We couldn't have done it without you guys.
All right, it's time for Elon's tweets of the week. The first one we've got here is that Abelardo said, when I was on the Netherlands, my taxi driver with an awesome Model X told me that the maps from the Tesla is somewhat annoying as it didn't update the city roadblocks as Google Maps traffic layer does. His solution, Tesla Maps for driving, and in his hand, his phone with Gmaps. Elon said,
True, but this will improve dramatically over the next several months, and all Tesla cars ever produced, except early Roadsters, will get improvements for free. Continuous free over-the-air software updates is a big part of why Tesla retains so much value over time.
And then the next was this. Elon says, had to be done, you're welcome.
So this is in response to a picture that was posted, I think it was on The Onion. It says that Elon Musk buys Fortnite and deletes it, which I wish that he had done. It's so stupid. I don't know. Anyway, it was hilarious.
It was. All right, time for community mail time.
Community mail time.
We got this letter, Jesse, from our friend Jose Gallardo. He's a Patreon patron. He said this: I started watching your show more than a year ago. I had a neighbor that had a blue Tesla Model S, but I never gave it much thought. In 2015, went to a car show and was there in line to get in the car and drive around, but the line was too long and I was not into EVs at all. I am an automobile engineer and always saw EVs as dull and kind of limiting. Everything changed 2 Halloweens ago. This neighbor passed by the house with his kids and started chatting with him, up to the point that we became very good friends. I laughed at his Tesla. At that time, I had 2 very enormous and polluting Lexus LX 570s at home. I stopped laughing the moment I sat in his car and saw that spaceship inside. I asked myself, how could I have missed this? I'm a petrol head, and I missed the next step in transportation. OMG. At that moment, I started to look at your channel, and boy, oh boy, I was wrong, stupid, ignorant, and presumptuous. You guys opened my eyes to the EV world, and especially Tesla. My 2 polluting trucks are gone, and my kids are very thankful for that. Our garage does not smell anymore. I can be in the car all day, and no gas will go into the house. They love camping in the cars, and to be honest, me too. Zach and Jesse, a big thank you for my kids, my wife, and myself. You guys have an advocate of sustainability in my and my family. I was blind and you guys opened my eyes, not by pushing ideas, but by persuasion and irrefutable facts. P.S. I'm taking your word about educating the police. I'm speaking with my local sheriff and some other Tesla friends to do an event for policemen and family only, to attend and explore the vehicles, see how they are, and have a taste of them, let you know how it goes.
Wow.
I love letters like this.
Yes.
I love the fact that he's so open about where he was and where he got to. Mm-hmm. That is growth. Mm-hmm. That is how we all should be, because we're all like that. You're not alone, Jose. It's not like we're just like this.
Right.
We learned about it too.
I was not born like this.
No.
Right. I, at one point, was like, man, Mustangs are the coolest looking cars in the whole world and the fastest and everything like that. But you know what? I was 12 years old and I did not know about EVs, and to be fair, there were no EVs around.
And think of how Jose changed his family's life and his neighbors' lives, and probably the police, in his neighborhood are going to find out about it. It's just great what you're doing. Thank you for letting us know.
All right, this is Kyle from Texas. He just got his new Model 3.
Nice. And I want to tell you about Rado, who is offering a joyride during their road trip in November. So if you live along their route in Australia, watch this video and check out the fact that you could hop in a Tesla and go for a ride. Thank you so much for doing this, because as we've said, this is the best way to learn about the EV revolution.
Absolutely.
Our friend Mel wanted to remind everyone that with many utilities, you can choose to get your power from renewables. Mel has been getting his power from a wind farm in Minnesota, and even though the guaranteed rate was supposed to be higher than what he was paying, the actual rate came in lower every month. So not only did he go green, he saved money too. Anyway, he just wanted us to remind all of you that you can probably do the same. It takes a few minutes, and you'll feel good, and you'll save some money. And Jesse did it this week.
Yeah, I got a thing in the mail, believe it or not. Yeah, a mail thing.
And you just called them up and you just switched to renewable.
Yeah.
Our friend Matthew in Maryland just got his red Model 3 Performance. He says it sticks to the road like glue.
It's a good analogy.
And this is boring. This is our friend Andy in New York City. He got this boring fire extinguisher.
Wow. Well, it doesn't even light things on fire. How boring.
Oh, and then there's this.
Hi, Bimo. What are you doing here in this big blanket? Let's see who else is in a blanket.
To that cloud is that.
Here's another blanket.
On their Shanghai factory.
Wait.
So pretty soon they're going to be producing
What?
in China.
What are you doing in there? What are you
All
watching?
the other car manufacturers that have production.
Tesla
in China,
News?
This factory is not.
Now you know?
with
What?
China at all. So usually.
This is what you're interested in?
49% of the partnership is.
Let's see what
so it's more like.
Okay, you can watch it.
That's adorable.
That's our little friend. She's 5 months old. Charlotte in Toronto. She got her first car, which is a Model 3, and her mom says that they feel so safe in their Model 3.
I think Charlotte's a little too young to be driving the Model
Maybe with the
3.
full self-driving, though, eventually.
Someday.
Soon.
But, I mean, yeah.
I'm glad that she monitors what she's viewing.
Yep, it's
and
good.
We keep it family here. We keep it family. All right, it's time for the Patreon viewer question of the week, and we got this question from Free Jewel. He said, explain why people think Tesla is subsidized. With the bill put forth from Wyoming to end the $7,500 tax credit, people are losing their minds with the crazy comments. It's not like the government is just handing out money to EV drivers. I paid way more than $7,500 to federal taxes, so I'm just paying less to the federal government when I get the credit. How is this a subsidy?
So, I mean, it is a subsidy. Let's be fair. Tesla does get that as a
And
subsidy.
our tax system gives subsidies to
too.
all different, like for instance, home ownership. They
Right.
give you an incentive to own a home as opposed to rent a home. Is that the right thing to do? I don't know.
They give you a subsidy for children.
Right. You have children, here's a tax credit.
Right.
Go have more kids.
Interesting. Another thing that gets a really big subsidy is the oil and gas companies. They
Exactly.
get trillions and trillions and trillions and trillions and trillions and trillions and trillions of dollars. Maybe not that many trillions.
Over time. I mean,
Yeah, true. They get trillions and trillions of dollars in subsidies and tax incentives. So, I mean,
and they don't have to pay for things that they cause. So, for
Right.
instance, I mean, if they had to pay for all the harm and damage to the environment and people, it would cost them that, but the government doesn't make them pay for that.
Right.
We just pay for that. So when you get sick from breathing dirty air, you pay for that.
Right.
So, yeah, if every week we were reminded of how the oil and gas companies were getting subsidies, we'd be like with pitchforks outside of Capitol Hill, right?
Right.
But instead, we don't hear about that. We just hear about, oh, Tesla's getting to get a tax credit.
right.
So let's level the playing field here, and let's report what all the different companies are getting.
The EV tax incentive is a pittance of what the oil and gas industry gets on a regular basis.
And it's basically leveling the playing field because you're not polluting when you drive an EV at anywhere near the rate that you are with an ICE car. So you're not causing all the health damages, all the environmental impacts to the world. You should get a break for that. All right, it's time for Supercharger reviews. Take it away.
The Supercharger in Farmington, New Mexico is located at the intersection of Highway 550 and 64. It's located at a Marriott Town Hall Place. It's a 4-stall Supercharger, and the Superchargers are located around back of the Marriott. There are some restaurants not too far away that you can walk to, and perhaps more importantly, right across the street, there is a Target and a Walmart and a Walgreens all within walking distance.
Hey Zach and Jesse, this is a review of the 20-stall Supercharger station in Centralia, Washington. It is located about halfway between Portland and Seattle. Finding the station off Interstate 5 took only 2 minutes. This Supercharger is right next to an outlet mall where you can quickly pass the time shopping while your Tesla is charging. There are a few fast food restaurants nearby and a Safeway grocery store that's about a 5-minute walk away. Something to keep in mind is that there are 8 Tesla-only Supercharger stalls, and the other 12 stalls have a 30-minute general parking spot sign. I gave this Supercharger a 9 out of 10. Back to you guys.
Hi, I'm Patrick Rushko at the Uppsala Supercharger in Sweden in the place called Fullerö. Here is 10 stalls conveniently located just close to the highway E4 going north from Stockholm. The Supercharger can be a little bit tricky to find since it's located on the backside of a restaurant. But on the other hand, there is less chance that the stalls will be iced by a combustion engine. The restaurant is offering the daily special, have a bathroom, and it's open during daytime 7 days a week. So coming here during night charging can be quite lonely. I would rate this Supercharger 5 out of 10 since it's only have the restaurant in the area.
Awesome. I love those things. And people, keep in mind also the destination chargers as well. Those are very important, and usually they don't have hardly any information about them. It's on the website, because you know what you're getting with the Supercharger.
Right.
But with the destination charger, there's a lot more variance. So if you can, go there.
Some charge fast, some charge slow.
Right. And, you might need to ask a hotel owner.
Many hotels don't know they have them.
Right.
You ask at the front desk and they're like, what are you talking about?
Exactly. So, try and figure all that stuff out. It's very helpful. Remember, shoot in landscape. All right, let's talk about the new Superchargers in the world.
They're all in the U.S. This week. We got the 8-stall in Fort Stockton, Texas.
We got the 8-stall in Pecos, Texas.
And we got number 574 in the U.S. and number 1376 in the world, the 8-stall in Issaquah, Washington. Now, I just wanted to point out, Jesse, that our favorite website for this, which is supercharge.info, this comes up on the screen when you go to their map.
Right. I have been using this website for so long, pulling it up and showing people all the Superchargers. It's a great little interactive map. It shows the ones that are being built, the ones that have been permitted. This is the best source of Supercharger info in the world.
Are you telling me that in August it costs $0 from Google to put their map up, and now it costs $1,000?
Right. That's what. Yes.
I mean, I understand they
crazy.
should charge something for that, fine, but $1,000?
Right. So if you would like, please head over to supercharge.info and help support. You know, don't go too crazy, but like if we all give them $1,
help them
will
out.
be good for a good long time.
Yeah.
And it's a really wonderful service, and it just is so exciting because every week we're getting, new information, new Superchargers coming online, and new permits, new construction. It's always very exciting on there. Let's, help out this website, which is really helping all of us.
All right, it's time for BFREE, which is businesses for rewarding Elon employees. And if you are an Elon employee and you like wine, you're in luck this week because St. Michael's Winery is offering free wine tastings for Elon employees. Go check them out. And I just found out that one of the oldest wine grape regions in the U.S. is right here in the Chesapeake Bay area.
Really?
I thought it was like in California or something, but it's right on our coast.
I guess that makes sense.
Pretty cool. So
we needed wine back then, and there was no California.
There's got to be a lot of Boring Company people working in the Maryland area, right? They can go right over here to the winery. And this is our 58th company, by the way. We're almost at 100. Come on, guys. We got to make this to 100.
Right. Yeah.
So if you're a business, if you know a business owner, get them onto our website. What a great way to advertise your business and do a good thing for the world. It helps Elon employees, which means you're helping the world because they're the ones on the front line. These are the soldiers marching us towards our sustainable energy future.
Every week we like to do a video that you may not have seen. This week is a ride in an electric sailboat.
And this is another one of our BFREE companies.
Pretty recent.
If you're an Elon employee, you can go for a ride on the sailboat. Go check this out. It's really going to be fun.
There's regen braking in a solar
I didn't know that.
powered sailboat.
I did not know that.
That's crazy.
It is crazy. All right, it's time for our Patreon giveaway.
All right, here we
gotta
go.
Get the big vat of names.
It's the Patreon giveaway.
So here's our vat of names. Let's give it a spin. I like how you take it seriously.
Look, it has to be random.
Anyway, the
in
winner
every
this
sense.
week is going to get a t-shirt from SFSF.
Yes.
I'm wearing one from Ecosia, but Jesse's wearing one from SFSF, which is cool.
You can get one that looks like this.
Yeah.
And we have Shantanu Bhattacharya. So I'm
Ooh.
going to put your name.
Yeah, and
back
you
in
get
there.
your name in there by being a Patreon.
Yeah. So just to remind everyone, every $1 that you support the show is a slip of paper in that roller machine.
Yeah, it's weird, but it works.
It
Anyway,
works.
the names you're seeing there floating past us right here, those are all Patreon supporters of $5 or more. Pretty awesome. But a lot of people ask every week, is there any way we can support you in other ways? Either in addition to or whatever.
Right. In ways that won't necessarily cost you money.
Right.
And one of the best ways is with our Amazon affiliate link. Doesn't cost you anything. You're probably buying things on Amazon anyway.
Right.
Christmas is coming up.
Good point.
You're probably ordering things. If you use our affiliate link, you can be giving us as much as like 5% of your order.
Yeah, and here's the thing. When we started doing it, I honestly didn't believe it was going to amount to much.
No.
It actually does.
Right.
It actually helps the show a lot, and it doesn't it doesn't cost you anything, which
Right.
is, I guess it just all comes out of Amazon's bottom line.
which is weird that they do that. But I mean,
I guess they figure like you're more likely to spend money or something. I don't know why they do it.
It doesn't matter. It really helps to support the show. So if you're thinking about buying Christmas presents or Thanksgiving gifts, or if you live in
just
another country,
toilet
and
paper. I mean, whatever you need.
Right.
know?
So I mean, if you were buying something on Amazon anyway, click on our Amazon referral link.
Yeah.
And so it works in different countries. If you click on the
international link.
international link, it finds out what country you're in using the internet.
Yeah.
Some kind of weird thing,
And
but
it works.
whatever. It works. Directs you to the right Amazon
And
page.
use our Tesla referral code.
Right.
You can buy your Model 3 now. Just a regular old Model 3. Like Jesse's Model 3. Did you use our referral code, by the way? Gonna have to look into that there.
I didn't.
You're
I
not
was
getting a ride in the
thinking
Roadster.
about that.
I'm just going to drive by Jesse's house.
It's fine. We'll have.
But yeah, you can get a ride in the Tesla Next Generation Roadster.
Yeah.
And I know you're probably wondering, whose referral code should I use? We're the only ones stupid enough to offer this. Everyone else is like, I'm just going to sit in my Roadster and not share it. We're going to share it.
Right.
Because that's the whole point.
Everyone to see this Roadster, but
experience
within reason. So we want to, share it with you. We want to share it with your family. We'll probably bring it with a semi truck and some other Tesla cars. So I mean, you'll probably have a Model 3 or a Model S.
You want to take a day off from work, probably.
Let's make sure that you find a good spot to do
start looking around.
We need to go from 0 to 60 in less than 2 seconds.
In a safe way.
In a safe-ish way.
So not in front of schools, not down Main Street.
Right.
I mean, I know it'd be cool to go down Main Street, but maybe unless you're like, maybe you know the chief of police.
Maybe
in your
you
town.
are the chief of police.
Right, and you
I'm
can just block
saying.
off Main Street. That would be fun.
Block it off, and because
Yeah.
we'll do EV events. Like if we're
Right.
coming to your house,
Yeah.
it's not like we're on some kind of like, well, we gotta go, gotta wrap this up.
Oh, and that's another cool
Right.
thing. Yeah, I mean, once we get closer, we're going to start talking to you guys about it. But like, you can plan out EV events, and we'll help make
show
them
up.
awesome. Like that would
Right.
be so awesome to
bring a Roadster. I mean, there's going to be a lot of EV cars that we might be able to bring to shows,
Right.
which could be really cool.
Really
so get in contact with us on Facebook or send us an email, something
and
like that.
don't forget about the Tesla Semi. You can
Right.
race it.
Even if you're not buying a Tesla, you can sign up for the Tesla newsletter using our referral code. So click the link down below, or maybe you sign up for solar. There's some incentive in there for you as well. But
Also, we're
racing
always
the Semi.
looking for people. If you waited this long, if you're this far deep in the show, then you're a pretty amazing person. We need people for the newsroom.
Absolutely.
We have a cool newsroom with like 70 people from around the world, and we're always looking for other cool people who want to join and do a little work, find cool stories, do a little research for us.
Right.
So if you're interested, give us a Facebook message, email me at zach@nowyouknowchannel.com and let me know you're interested, and we'll get you in there.
All right.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for watching this episode of Tesla Time News. We hope you enjoyed it. Now you know.